all the time in Carroll County. I'm just saying. It's a very, very unlucky place to live. They dropped the charges because it was accidental. You don't accidentally run over somebody and back up and try to do it again. Let's start from the beginning as investigative reporters, right? So you would ask the questions who, what, where, when, and why. Should be easy, right? Of course it is. Yes, I know, you're innocent until proven guilty, but what good does that do you if you are not alive? Hey y'all, I hope this our weather's a little bit funky. My internet's been funky today, so I hope this is good. Can you hear me? Hello. Let me back this up. I know some people are getting home, just getting off work and stuff like that. I get it. People who work regular jobs and I don't, and I'm just trying to find a time. So let me say hello to everybody. Hello, Kip Kitty. Fragaria. Hello. I'm trying to show this. And good evening, Just Deb. Freeze Dry It. Good to see you. Melissa, good to see you. Let me keep going down here and get all the hellos. Chartreuse Cat. I love chartreuse, by the way. Have y'all ever heard of that Mandela effect where some people think chartreuse is like a magenta color? If you haven't, it's a weird one. Hey, Caddy, how are you doing? Good to see you. It's a new day. Good to see you too. Yeah, some people think chartreuse is magenta. Some people think it's green. I say it's green, but that's just me. That's the way I learned it. Hey, Digital, good to see you. All right. Boy, I have some questions tonight. I have some questions tonight, and I think that we deserve some answers. I'm going to try to keep this one on the shorter side, but we'll just see what you've got to say. I had a really good thing that I know some of you saw my members only working on a project. And when I say working on, I mean working on. It is, it's crazy. It's very, very in depth, and it's difficult to get a presentation together. So like I'm just starting. I'm gonna have to do it in a series. It's all about Delphi. Hope y'all got your coffee or something. All right, let me move over to this. Well, let me give you just a second to tell me what's on your mind. Like, Delphi's been crazy lately, right? All the motions, all the this, all the that, all the opinions. Dear Jesus, the opinions. And hey, it's okay to have an opinion. It's okay to have a theory. Understand that not everybody is going to agree with it exactly like you do. And to be honest, I've changed my mind back and forth so many times that I don't tell you when I change my mind, because it's like, you know, one day I'm like, oh, holy Moses. Well, I guess this is the way it is. And then I hear something else that refutes that. And I'm like, yeah, but. Okay, so I have come up with some questions that don't seem to have answers, but I want to hear what you think. Me too, chartreuse cat. I've only known of chartreuse in as green or yellow, but it's crazy. Yeah, Mandela. Do y'all know what Mandela is? I'm thinking about on my other channel, which I'm so excited. Let me just tell you, Evelyn Cottage is at 999 subscribers. I still have to get my watch time up before I can, like, be like legal monetized. Not that I'm ever asking anybody for money, but it's just, it's exciting. And so I think I'm going to talk about some of that, stuff over there, some paranormal. I already do paranormal stories, but I'm going to do some maybe cryptids and parallel universes and Mandela, all that weird stuff. So if you're weirdos, you might want to go check that one out. I just started put that to podcast on YouTube. I do. It's Avalon Cottage, Avalin. Um, may link it on this channel. I don't even know. Yeah, so I'm almost there. I've got probably another month before I get my watch time up, but hey, I love it. And it gives me a good break from all the heartbreaking stuff. Hey, Wisdom Sleuth. Good to see you. Yeah. Wisdom Sleuth, man, you talk about a sleuther. Avalon Cottage. Oops. Hey, Linda Kay. Good to see ya. Boy, I sounded southern there, didn't I? Linda Kay. She is a very good friend of mine. Love you, Linda. All right. So let's look at some questions that don't seem to have answers. Okay, Melissa, you love paranormal. Yeah, I want to go to Waverly one of these days. One of these days, I'm going to go to Waverly. I've been to some places. Hi, Watha. Hey there. Don't want to miss you. All right. I am going to be flipping the screen here. And, okay. Questions that need answers. And boy, I forgot to hold on. I've got to do this. I just got my hoodie. If y'all are friends of CJ, it used to be Evil CJ. Now it's CJ's Crime Concepts. I just got my hoodie in today. Look at that. It's got my name on it. I'm going to take some good pictures to put on my page, but I'm like kind of cramped here in between the desk and the wall. But can you see these angel wings on there? It says CJ's Angels. Probably about one of the only times that I've been called an angel. Occasionally. Usually it's preceded by hells, but that was a joke with my ex-husband. He used to say that about me. Yeah, you're an angel, a hell's angel. We're good friends, so. But yeah. Yes, and Caddy got a hoodie too. They are amazing. He's not selling them yet, but just hold on. Let me just do a shameless plug right now because these are so soft. I love this material, and it's the perfect size, big enough I can wear my sweatshirt under it. All right, so good. I'm glad you. Oh, Linda, I'm glad you think I'm an earth angel. Like I said, don't get called that a whole lot. All right. Questions that need answers. Let me just ask you. Type below, what are some questions about the Delphi case that you would like to see answered besides the obvious, okay? Maybe some anomalies, some things, because I've got like 3 or 4 questions we're going to talk about. By the way, I know I haven't addressed a lot of the stuff that you said in my last couple of short videos and posts, but man, oh days, did you have a lot of good information and a lot of good things. So I was like, holy Moses, I'm going to have to do a whole video just on that. But I'm actually behind because I meant to do this one 2 weeks ago. All right. I'm not going to see your comments for a few minutes. My first question is, and I've been talking about this for months, and I think I've Apophis just put out a video which asked the same question, but where did the third shoe come from? Okay. I was talking to a friend of mine about this months ago. And when the Frank's motion came out and we started like really perusing it and really looking deep into it, we saw some things that were a little sus. Libby's shoes, okay? Now, all this time, we know that one was on the bank. Remember, Kelsey identified it because they were looking on the 14th and somebody said, here's a shoe, and Kelsey identified that Nike as Libby's shoe. Now, we also know from pictures that there was one of those shoes in the water. But when the Frank's motion came out, we also discovered that there was another one of, uh, yeah, Libby's shoes underneath Abby. So, where did that shoe come from? As far as I know, Libby did not have 3 legs. So, I'm questioning, the whole thing right now. Let me get back to here. Let me see what you're saying. So, yeah, I mean, definitely. If wasn't it, who was it? Was it Gavin Fish that released some of those photos that were in the water? And there's another thing in the water, and I meant to get a copy of those, but I didn't. I don't have them on the presentation. But y'all know what I'm talking about. It had a few undergarments. It had the shoe. It had a shirt and stuff like that. Yeah, Abby had her shoes on. Yeah, exactly, Hiawatha. How did Libby's phone get in one of her shoe? One of Yeah, in one of her shoes under Abby. Lord, I need to like draw a diagram. But yeah, not only was the phone there, and to me, y'all, come on. I know we could do a whole series on dumb criminals, and yes, does it happen? Yes. Are there dumb criminals? Yeah. I don't think that was the case. That's my opinion. I think that phone was left there on purpose. Why would it be left there? That's, question number 2. Let's put that in a subset. Why would the perpetrator leave the phone, okay? Because let's say hypothetically that they did not know that Libby had any recordings or anything like that, it would still show times, it would show there's a lot of things, movement, and the timestamp of the Snapchat would have been sufficient, but there's not really a timestamp, is there? Now, I have heard this argued back and forth and back and forth. I have heard some people say that there were stamps on Snapchat in 2017. I cannot say one way or another because although I've had Snapchat since then, I never use it. It is rare, rare, rare that I'm ever on Snapchat. So, I mean, did I snap people? Did people snap me? Yeah, but I didn't use it enough to know if there was a timestamp. I don't necessarily think there was because it went away so quick. Um, of course, now you can keep a Snapchat forever, but back in the day, it wasn't. You couldn't. Like, if you didn't see it good the first time, well, too bad. That was it. Um, Digital. The narrative is that the shoe in the water and the one they yelled to Kelsey about are the same shoe. Um, we'll talk about the narrative. I can see why they would say that. Of course, what you're going to say. I mean, but in one of her interviews, and I cannot remember which one it was, she says they found it on like the bank as they're going. So that wouldn't be in the water, but they're going to have an answer. So I guess we can say it was the one in the water. I doubt it. I doubt it. Um, in that case, they would have. Okay, would they still? Does anybody remember if they said we found one shoe but not the other shoe? I don't know. Um, yes, yes. Thank you, Snow Walker. That is what I heard. Yes, it was in the driveway. It was in the driveway, on the bank, on the driveway, something like that. Not in the water. Yes, absolutely. Um, I knew there was something else to that. Sometimes my brain. Uh, how has Gold been allowed to stay on this case? I don't know. I don't know. I really, I'm flabbergasted at a lot of stuff. We're going to talk a little bit. Uh, and I agree with you, Linda Kay. It was all overstaged. Now we know that it was staged. I believe you're right. It was overstaged, and this is what happens when you overstage something. You have three shoes, but the question is where did the dang shoe? Where did the third shoe come from? Now, either I don't know. There's a lot about what they were wearing, and we're going to get into that because this, I think, disturbs me more than anything as we go along. Um, if you mention the phone left on purpose or being planted, you're automatically accusing the family. Shaking my head. Yeah, I can see where people would say that, but I'm not. Um, are there elements to family statements and stuff that make me question? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm not accusing the family. You know, you're, I'm just saying to the perpetrator, why would you be so dumb? If you were, first of all, it's not like you didn't know, okay? It's not like you didn't, the clothes were off, on, all this kind of stuff, bodies moved, staged. How are you not going to know a shoe is under there? I personally think it is very important to the perpetrator, whoever that perpetrator is, that that phone was found. The battery on the two Snapchat photos are quite different. Oh, I didn't notice that. Uh, I'm gonna have to go back and look at those pictures. I don't have them pulled up at the moment. That is a good point. I'm gonna have to go back and look. Um, could it be to frame somebody else? Yeah, I mean it could be the whole thing. And y'all, I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna put this. I think I'm gonna just like record this uh, press conference and put it on a loop until people understand. It was the older policeman. I cannot think of his name right now. Not Mullen, but the other guy. Was he ISP? Anyway, he's the one that says the voice that you hear does not necessarily go with the sketch. The sketch and the voice, two different things. So, everybody is looking at the sketch and the voice, the down the hill. Oh, and looking at him. Oh, this is so and so. He clearly said it's not. It's not. It's not necessarily. To me, not necessarily means it's not. Because either it is or it isn't. Um, you know, Otherwise you'd say, okay, here's the voice and here's the picture. And they should be close enough, or unless there's a lot of other people there, which, we kind of figure there might be, but they're not saying anything. They're blaming it all on Bridge Guy, and the narrative is just becoming such. No matter what they said, it's this voice, this picture. Listen to a lot of creators, a lot of newscasters, they're saying this is the voice that goes with the sketch. No, it's not. That is an unknown factor. Okay, that is unknown. That is not written in stone. It is could be. Could be that photo doesn't even really exist. Not the way that we've seen it anyway. That's my opinion. Um, let's see. Hiawatha, regarding Snapchat, I know for a fact that SC gave location in October of 2016 as my daughter and I used it to track my grandson when they were trick or treating. It wasn't yet nationwide. Uh, but Indiana is that a test spot? Um, it gave location. Now, I don't know about location. I was horrified when I found it. It gave that. It's the timestamp. It's the timestamp on there. Uh, which all the pictures I've seen of Abby, it doesn't have a timestamp because it's got the swirling. You know, while it's playing, it's got the little thing on there. So they're saying 207. And I have heard some people swear that there was a timestamp on there that said 207, and other people say absolutely not. Not in 2017. It did not have a time. SS. Uh, the phone was left on purpose. The whole narrative is off on this case is off. Yeah. Yeah, that's what this is just like step number one. This is the first thing. All right. Let's see. Yeah, nobody's accusing the family, okay? Look, here's the thing. Nobody's trying to accuse the family. What we're trying to do is, if there is an inconsistency, there is an inconsistency. And I will say, hey, this is not this is not consistent with what this says or that says. That doesn't mean they're the perpetrators, okay? It just means that something is up. And why, what the motivation is, we don't know. We don't know. I don't know. Yeah, they're talking about the yellow app. By the way, if this was like almost a year ago, Justice Served Daily and I did a live on here like around June or so of last year. And she talks about the yellow app. You have to go way back in the lives, but she shows how the yellow app was uh, connected to Abby and Libby, and also some horrifying things about that. And it's not the yellow app anymore, it's called Yubo. But it is very, very, uh, it's horrifying. Yeah, check into that. Um, you made mistakes, quote, Doug Carter. Yeah, a lot of people made mistakes. Oh, yeah, I see that. Yeah, it changed to Yubo. Yeah, I didn't even see that. All right. Wisdom sleuth. Never trust a phone left behind at a crime scene. Never trust who is behind the camera taking pictures. And never trust something that can be faked like a screenshot of a Snapchat. I agree. Um, and even though AI wasn't like it is now in 2024, there was a lot of photo shopping, photo app, look, photo bending apps. Okay. So anything, and I think now, do y'all ever think about this and get scared of what AI can do? Like, have you seen that one commercial where Tom Cruise is it's a younger Tom Cruise and he's given instructions on I don't know, it's some kind of restaurant or something, and he's like the trainer, and it looks just like him, sounds like him. It looks like a video of him teaching people about this some kind of business, and he's got like a dish rag in his hands and all this. Look, if they can do that, then how oh my god. Like it just makes the whole setup framing somebody so very scary, okay? Um, but yeah, I agree. Uh, okay, so not so much tracking, but it gave location. All right, let me see what else is going on here. And interesting that all of the witnesses just happened to be friends as well, including the girl that got the screenshot of that. Luckily, had sent Snapchat. Yeah, yeah, it was very uh sus, I guess, that everybody is down there. They're all friends, kind of. I understand it was a day off of school. Someone suggested to me, okay, that there was, and I don't know how much I can share, so I'm not so I'm not going to go into until I can talk with this person. But someone suggested that there was a event, okay, happening. Maybe you could call it a social media event. I know I'm being vague. I'm just like I'm trying to protect everybody, okay? That would have potentially drawn younger people to that area under the guise of doing something else. And this was not related to substances, okay? This was more related to, let's just call it social media. And it has been suggested that perhaps that is why all of these people who normally, wouldn't be at the bridge all at one time, and yet there's all these people there, uh, that might be what drew them. And possibly Abby and Libby, I don't know. Um, Yeah, good point. It's a new day. On the female witnesses, why does RA see three girls, but Betsy Blair sees four girls? Yeah, I don't know. And have y'all ever, I'm just saying, have you ever noticed how much Kelsey, well, we know Kelsey and Libby, especially at a distance, Kelsey and Libby look a lot alike. Like, you could easily mistake one for the other. You could easily mistake, who was it? Was it her cousin? Was it Brie that was with Kelsey? There's a picture of Kelsey and one of her relatives that looks, strangely enough, a lot like Abby. So, was it? I have not. Here's what bothers me, okay? If all of these people are down there at the bridge, all in the trails, whatever, maybe they don't walk across the bridge like, Abby and Libby did. Because let's face it, it's rickety, it's old, it's scary. And why? You can take pictures, you can go just a little bit and take pictures. You don't need to get on the mountain. But okay, so you got Abby and Libby there, but supposedly you've got all of these other people milling around here and there. Kelsey, in one interview, says, there was like 20 people when she dropped Abby and Libby off. If there were that many people there at the beginning in the trails somewhere, then why can no one say 100%, I ran into Abby and Libby and they were this or they were that, and I talked to them and I know 100% it was them, and they were standing by the bench or they were standing by this tree? Or why, if there's so many people, you can't positively identify and say, yeah, not only did I see them, I talked to them. These people go to school together. These girls played sports. These people's relatives were there. How come no one has said, I absolutely saw her at this time? I saw them. It seems weird to me when you have all these people there. Very good point, Wisdom. Experienced retired detective. The person who finds them first saw them last and knows them best. Ooh, wouldn't that open a can of worms? Yep, it would certainly open a can of worms. But here's the thing, that is a statistic, and it is true. I mean, you have to consider everything, right? I'm not taking anybody's sides here, and I'm just going to tell you, if people are guilty, if you're guilty, I don't care who you are. I hope you pay for your crimes. I don't care. Family, not family, you know, wonderful person otherwise. I don't care. Makes no difference to me. I just want the right person. Um, and so, yeah, do you have to ask? Certainly you do. And you have to try to figure out what everybody's motives were. Oh, that's a hard one, isn't it? Let's see. There were two separate groups of girls. The four were the ones that walked back over 25 towards City Park, the same route RA would have taken back in town to Old Farm Bureau Insurance. Okay. There were two separate groups of girls. And yeah, because the route, haven't we talked about, or he has talked about, um, he said he was at the Old Farm Bureau. They're saying CPS, but there was an Old Farm Bureau. Like, there's a lot of questions. Which way did he actually go? And because, we don't have any, kind of interviews written down with him, we don't really know. We're going by the PCA, which we know is a load of caca. So, there you go. We don't know nothing. Um, Yes, they did specify, the Franks motion did. It did say the phone was in a shoe that was under Abby. Yeah, and that's towards the end of that 136 page Franks motion. Um, okay, just Deb. Three girls there in late morning, four in the afternoon. Like, where are the rest of the 20 people that Kelsey saw? And the other people that, who was it? I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was Becky or Kelsey or somebody else, but somebody talks about they had a lot of people after this incident. Um, there were like 50 people that told me they were there that day. Well, that's a lot of dang people from Delphi out there. Not that, they couldn't be, but the rest of these people, they didn't see anything. I mean, could they have been there at different times? Yeah. But getting there at 1:30, that's a pretty popular time. That's enough time to get up, have your coffee, let the weather warm up, you know. I'd say anywhere between 11 and 2 were probably the biggest times of the day because, in February it's going to start getting dark early, and after 3 o'clock it's going to start, cooling down, all that kind of stuff. You got to think about fixing supper. You're not staying out there on the bridge. To all of these people. Okay. The three girls were there earlier and saw RA leaving around 1:30. They went to the park to play basketball. Uh, is that Libby texted one of them and said, "Where are you?" Oh, really? They were conveniently left out of the PCA. Yeah, well, yeah. Interesting. I have digital. I have never heard that before, but that certainly fits with his um, affidavit that said he left. He was there somewhere between 12 and 1:30. Um, if they saw him leaving at 1:30, oh, well, of course they couldn't be in the PCA because that doesn't fit the timeline or the narrative, right? Who wrote the PCA? That would be Tony Liggett, the one who was trying to get elected for sheriff. You know, he was the lead investigator. He got elected just a few days later after writing that effed up PCA. Um, let's see, talking about Scientology spends a lot of time. Uh, let's see, getting it. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people that love hiding behind that religious tax exemption. There's a lot of sus ministers in that area too. Let me just throw that bone out there. Start looking into that. Uh, Good evening, Carol. It is good to see you and hear from you. I hope you are doing well. Um, yes, nobody knows. Has anybody seen the pic of the shoe? I don't think, I don't know of any pictures of that shoe. I know, like we said earlier, it was said to be, I heard on the bank, but then I also heard in the driveway. Definitely no one ever said it was in the water. Uh, let's see. SS says it was overstaged scene to divert the attention. FBI and Homeland Security was focusing on Flora and the fires prior to Flora. I just recently heard that. That is indeed what the FBI was doing in the area when the girls went missing, because all of a sudden they're there on the first, you know, the first little action there on the here comes the FBI. We've just got two missing girls, and here they are. Oh, they happen to be in the area. I've heard that they were actually looking at Flora, which had occurred 3 months earlier, and when they found out that was happening, that makes sense to me. Um, I don't know why. Uh, okay, so you're saying, SS, that the reason that they did Delphi is to start something else, a complete diversion, so that they wouldn't be looking at all the stuff going on in Flora, the arson, the unalivings of those four girls. It could be. And then they overstaged it and they made a bigger mess. And all they did, if that, if that was the case, what they really did, that was such a big mess up. They put it on the international map. So that definitely didn't go. Let's see. Um, what, if anything, uh, was there some event going on at the bridge? Who typically hosts events and asks for actors and reenactments? Thank you. What, if anything? Uh, what, if anything? Let me say that right. That's kind of what I was alluding to earlier. Could there have been an event that would call for actors for reenactments or some kind of thing that was known to the younger people in that area? Did they all go down to the bridge? You know. Oh, it's okay, Kip Kitty. You take care of your company. Good gracious. I'm glad you stopped in at all. You have a lovely time with your company. Um, yes, and also I did notice that too. There was a new shoebox on uh Libby's bed. If you see that, the infamous video where Becky has the book that says Promise Not to Tell, and, they do the 360 of Libby's room. There is a box, I assume empty, but there was a box, Nike box on her bed. I did notice that. Uh, okay, Libby and Abby look alike. Okay, I thought it was Bree. Kelsey and Bree look alike. Yeah, so to me, unless you stopped and talked to them, how would you even know if that was at a distance? How would you know if that was Kelsey and Bree or Libby and Abby? Uh, Definitely the two sisters looked very, very much alike. Um, okay, let's see. What is this? Hiawatha. Some type of awards ceremony in Abby's name, a pic with Kelsey and Bree. Oh, yeah. That's where I saw that. Yes. Yes, you're right. Y'all can look that up. I'll try to find it too. I think I've got it in all of my saved pictures that just go on and on. Um, yeah, they did originally say that they were looking for two blonde girls. Although some people call Abby blonde. I mean, I don't. I say she was more like a ginger, or some people have called her strawberry blonde. I thought it was more reddish than anything, but some people do call that blonde. I guess, but it certainly isn't an accurate description. Okay. Yeah, nobody saw Abby and Libby. Yeah, that's what I think too. Let's see. Silky, have you heard the confusion about the snow day? Because the male classmate interviewed on the CW was clear that it was his birthday, and he got off the bus and told two classmates were missing. Yes, I have, and there's not only him. There's somebody else that's like, look, that has been a bone of contention before. I tried to get onto the school's website schedules to see, because like in our town, all of the ones in our county, they have a school a year schedule. So if it is, I mean, now sometimes they have like surprise snow days or makeup days, not makeup days, but off days, because there wasn't as much snow, and they kind of just throw that in. But usually they have those scheduled out from the beginning of the year, like, by this date, if you haven't been out of school so long before snow, then you get a free day off. I have heard several people say that. Was it just that school? I don't know, but he said that he was their classmate. That was odd. Unless, yeah, Yeah, because it wasn't the 14th, because they were just missing on the 13th. The 14th, yeah, it was a whole different. Yeah, that was sus, and I did catch that. But then again, like, look, we're gonna look at some other things that it's like, what the heck? What do y'all want us to believe? I don't even know. I don't know. School functions. Yeah, fake pic, fake video. Definitely, I have a really good T-shirt idea for that. Can't wait to get it printed and show y'all. Uh, um, how about the I don't know about the snow day. I did hear Dalton say he came home from school and got the news. I don't know if they were missing or found. The found would make sense, yes, because then it would be a school day. I thought he meant the missing day because didn't he say, I have to go back and watch it. Didn't he say that, like, pretty much his birthday was ruined because everybody was looking for them? It was a big deal. I don't know. Uh All right, I'm going to go on to one more thing. Now, we've talked about the three shoes and all this kind of stuff. Uh, Let me show you this. Now, this isn't a question. Well, it is. It leads to a question. But I found these. These are AI generated images from the sketches. Y'all, y'all, if you haven't seen this, this is fascinating to me. Look at this. Okay, old bridge guy doesn't look like anybody that uh well, certainly that I know. Of course, it certainly doesn't look like Richard Allen. Maybe a little bit in the eyes it could, but the rest of the face, no, not at all. Um, and again, now we know that this sketch, this very detailed sketch, okay, look at that sketch. And I don't have the line drawing of young bridge guy over here on this, but uh, you can see on the old bridge guy the drawing, like, look at, they just did every little hair, like, look at that drawing took a while. Okay, that was very detailed, gives us a great AI sketch. But here's the thing, this, as we know now, was seen by Sarah Carbaugh as she's driving down the road, driving down the highway, sees a guy coming the other way. She has no idea that there's been a crime committed. So, you just see a guy. You see a guy as you're driving, they're walking this way, and you're like, huh. He was wearing a tan jacket. According to the Frank's motion, he was wearing a tan jacket that was muddy. Not muddy and bloody, not dark blue. Tan, muddy. All right. Some kind of cap, whatever. Or did she say that? I think she did. Anyway, she sees somebody walking down the road, but she's driving a car. If you're driving a car, you're not going to see him, but just like, what, 2 seconds? Now, also, not to say you couldn't, in my opinion, you couldn't give a good physical description, like facial features, but you could give a good description of the clothes they were wearing if you could remember it correctly when you realized that something was going on that day and maybe you should have paid attention to who was out there. But you're going down the street, and then she did not give this information. Like, they didn't draw this sketch for a long time after, like a bunch of days after they did this other one. Yet this is the sketch that they released and said, here's your guy. This is Bridge Guy. We got a picture, we got a sketch. So when people, including myself, saw this detailed picture of Bridge Guy, of old Bridge Guy, you're like, well, somebody's got to know who that is. I mean, he's got it. I lost my shoe. What did I do with my shoe? Sorry, I need my shoe. I kicked it off. Um, yeah, you're gonna think, okay, they've got this detailed sketch. this guy, they know what he looks like. I mean, he's got some very definitive features. But no. This is like over 120, something like 129 days or something after the event that she sits down with a sketch artist of somebody she sees walking down the road. All right. Let me go back. Hold on. I don't want to lose y'all because when I go to the bigger screens, I lose. Yeah, there's a lot. Boy, y'all have some good comments in here. Anybody is just listening to this, you might want to go back and read these comments. All right, so young bridge guy. Now, let me keep going down here. Okay, Sleuth Intuition has a picture of the shoe in the water. Yeah, that I want to tell you that one was by Gavin Fish. That's got his name all over it. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Yeah. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Let me go back here. Digital, what are you talking about? You try to find all of it. Okay, digital is saying Ben Mears hung out in their historic slaughterhouse. Lots of pictures allegedly found in what? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm about to go back and look at all of this, and then y'all are such a wealth of information, I'm gonna tell you. Okay. Let's say, digital, did you get the impression that she deliberately mentioned that stuff to him? Seemed like she went out of her way to tell someone in an ISP uniform and then led them to that building. Oh, okay. I've got to get back in here and see what you were saying. Uh, okay. Are y'all talking about the church where Pastor Todd is? I'm not gonna highlight that comment. It's a new day, just because I want to protect you from any back. What is that back? Whatever. Not backwash. That's anyway. I know exactly what you're talking about, though. Okay, so what do y'all think of these? Would that have? Okay, I know we didn't have AI like we do now, but I think it would have been. It could have been very. Hey, Chevy Killer. Thank you so much. Yes, please slap that. Slap the crap out of that like button. All right. Let me go back to this though. Okay, young bridge guy. Now, to me, all right. Now, I'm not saying to me it looks like just one person, because I don't think so. When I look at this young bridge guy sketch that is enhanced by AI, that made to look like a real person, like, it could be like, to me, it could really be a lot of people that are POIs, okay? Really like, you put a face like that, you put skin on it, you make it look real, you still keep those features. It definitely looks like more people that are sus, okay? Not exactly, but I think it would be helpful. Now, here is my question though. Okay, great pictures, great AI, did great, love it. But Young Bridge Guy is released 2 years after the crime. Why was the old Bridge Guy sketch released first? Okay, that's my question. And I kind of broke it down into, were they covering up for someone? All right. Or were they trying to pin it on Ron Logan? I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to tell you, I oh Ron, oh Ron. Uh, I can't rule him out as being involved, and I know what the woman on the CW said. I think she knew his character, and I'm not doubting at all that she feels the way that she does for a reason. Um, I his fake alibi, all that mess. I do not think that there is any way he did not know that something was going down. Either was going to, was planned to, or had already happened. Because, first of all, of where it was, and you would have heard, and I've said this before, I don't know if Ron Logan could be Bridge Guy, but he might not be the perpetrator. He could have been walking down the dang bridge, and doesn't mean he's the perpetrator. Uh, doesn't mean he's not. I mean, we don't know now. He passed away, but it did happen on his property, and that sketchy alibi. Where did they? Even though this old bridge guy sketch is several months after, very detailed, but very unreliable. Okay, because Sarah's just driving down the road, seeing guy. How much do you really remember? 120 something days afterwards when you don't know. Even if you knew the crime was committed, like even if you were looking and they said be on the lookout for any strangers, and you were driving your car and looking, you would still not get it right. Okay? You wouldn't get all those details right. You would only get the basics. What he was wearing, you know? You wouldn't get that detail. And 120 something days after, you certainly could not remember. But Youngbridge Guy was just a few days after, seen 50 feet away by Betsy Blair. Said he had poofy hair. Richard Allen never had poofy hair. Not for many years, anyway. Um, she had a much better look at him. So why, unless you are trying to frame Ron Logan or somebody, or you've got somebody older in mind as the perpetrator and you're trying to make somebody, to me, it's manipulation. You are trying to make somebody fit this mold. You've got a suspect in mind and you're putting out this photograph, or they didn't put the video out yet, but you've got this photograph and you've got this picture, and to me you are trying to set someone up in that, uh, to be old bridge guy. Now then, fast forward to 2 years later, they give us this sketch, young bridge guy, and yet they're telling us that the guy on the bridge, they're now showing the video, this is him. That guy on the bridge does not look like a young guy. Okay, I'm not saying he's decrepit. I'm not saying he's, 77 years old or whatever Ron Logan was. But what I'm saying is that don't look like no young guy to me. Certainly not poofy haired guy, not that Betsy Blair saw. So why were they doing that? Were they trying to set Ron or somebody else up for that? Or were they trying to, or did they know who Young Bridge Guy was? Because Betsy Blair went and they did a sketch and they might have been, well, holy crap, we know who that is, but he's some so and so's son. He's what, we don't know. Were you trying to cover or distract from him? Because why on God's earth would you take a sketch that was seen not very far away by someone who was actually looking at him, not somebody driving down the street? Why would you take that second sketch and now they take young guy sketch and like, okay, forget about old bridge guy, but they still have it. But in that press conference they said, okay, disregard this other sketch, he's cleared, like, we not a suspect anymore. Look at this young bridge guy who clearly doesn't match the video of old bridge guy. It's just a hot mess. So what were you trying to do early on? I'm like, this is as messed up as a case as I have ever seen. Okay, I don't understand. You explain to me why you're going to take a really reliable witness who was close by, saw the person who was standing on the bridge, watching him, not intensely, but enough to notice things like poofy hair. You explain to me why you just disregard that for 2 years. Because there is a reason. Okay, there's a reason. And I think if we knew the reason, it would tell us probably who it is or the direction that they should be looking. Because you're not, hey, hey, CJ, I just saw all that. Hey, I showed everybody my hoodie. Look at, I've got, it's great. I can even wear it over my sweatshirt. It's great. I promoed this and I said, you just keep watching because you're gonna want one of these. Ah. Ah. Anyway, yeah. So you tell me, why on God's earth would you do that unless, yeah, there's a lot of, you're right, Elna, a lot of misleading by the public. Let's see here. So yeah, what, and I'm so far behind now in your comments, but what do you think? Let's see. All right, here's a good comment. Wisdom Sleuth, Capitano, JW, and PB were the three that searched Ron Logan's right there, yet found nothing. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Was Ron Logan, I think he knew. I think he knew what happened. Not saying he was involved. I don't know. Uh, Carol, the liability factor could have been the rationale for Ron Logan wanting them off the bridge. Yes, Libby had reportedly been warned not to cross it before. It could very well be, and that's what I'm saying. It could have been. Could that? I think that those pictures of Bridge Guy come from a trail cam, and there is somewhere, Jesus, I wish I could find it. It is in print with, I think, Holman saying it. But anyway, I've seen it in the last couple of months. Now I know that he said that he knew there was a trail cam somewhere on the trails, but he didn't know where. But there was a specific time that one of the officers said it came from a trail cam, that Bridge Guy picture. But now it came from Libby's phone. But there's a lot of stuff that happened that's inconsistent. But so yeah, could Ron Logan have just could he have been on the bridge and not be guilty of anything except telling them to get off the bridge? What if he did say, down the hill, like, in other words, get off, get out of here, get off the bridge, it's dangerous, go, around another way, whatever. I think it certainly could have happened. And maybe that's why they, eventually, well, they didn't really let him go. They kind of made his life a living hell there for a while. Hey, Meow, Erskine is not listed as one of the firefighters at that scene. Are we talking about Flora? Hey, Meow, by the way, one of the great sleuthers of all time, Meow Zedong. Absolutely wonderful. Some of y'all are so good. Like, y'all are just amazing. All right, so God, I'm so far behind. But yeah, so what was the reason? What was the reason? And if they didn't want the young guy recognized, why would that be? Would it be because he's related to somebody important? Old Bridge Guy is a fake. Yeah, I think so too. Oh, Meow says about Flora, it's so confusing just because you see someone in his turnout gear. Yeah, at the dash cam. Yes, I've heard that. I've heard that meow from several people that that was not actually him wearing that gear. Um, Very interesting, huh? Let's see. It's a new day. No way. That sketch is Betsy Blair's version of the young guy with the puffy hair on the first platform. No, absolutely not. Uh, so that being said, we know there's a reason that they put the old guy up there. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, in my opinion, they're trying to put it on somebody. Okay. And they want you to think this is, again, my theory that back in 2017, they wanted you to think that it was an older guy, it was this guy. Here, let's spin the web. All right. Come with me now on this journey where we know the best witness has said this is a young guy in his 20s, maybe early 30s, but he's definitely a young guy. But let's spin it where there's an old guy on the bridge that we're looking for because we don't have to accuse somebody. Okay, we don't have to get it wrong. We don't have to arrest the wrong person because if we put this sketch out here and we actually think it's this guy, or we want to blame this guy, or maybe we really do think it's an old guy, an older guy that did this, whether they think it's Ron Logan or Gabe Ellis or Brad Holder or whoever, or a myriad of other people in Indiana. They don't have to come out and do that. If they put a sketch out and they put all this information, then one of you, lovely people who live in the area, are most likely going to look at that picture and you're going to say, you know what? That looks like my ex husband. Or that looks like my, Uncle John. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or that nasty guy that works at, the gas station down there. I don't know. But it seems like to me that you would, if you're not covering for somebody else, you are trying to get the public to say, hey, yeah, this is the guy. So, well, that really didn't work, you know, all these years. It really didn't work. So they had to, they had to come up with Richard Allen. Am I saying 100% that Richard Allen is innocent? No, I don't know. I say it all the time. Some days I think he is. Some days I'm like, I don't know. I haven't seen all the evidence. What I have seen is evidence of corruption to a monstrous exponent in Carroll County. Okay, that's what I've seen. I've seen ridiculousness uh, and crazy stuff. So, um, I still think I still think BG looks like Garrett Kurtz. Uh, he certainly does. I mean, he's got the poofy hair. I mean, does that mean he did it? No, it doesn't mean he didn't do it either. Because guess what? He's obviously got some issues, and now he's already committed other crimes. Why didn't he commit this one? I mean, he could have. Very, very likely. All right, now here's the other thing. I'm glad you're in here, Meow. I would love to uh, talk flora. We can schedule that. Love to do a flora show. Um, okay, now I have to take this off. I'm getting really hot. This this hoodie is very warm. Either that or it's warming up here in Alabama. It was so cold this morning, and then it seemed like it was warmer when I took the dog out. All right. Now this comes from, I don't know, is this some kind of app? I don't know. This is one of the things when you look up a reenactment of Abby and Libby. All right. This, I think, of all things, disturbs me in this case more than anything else. Okay, my question is, why are they changing the narrative? Now, we've already talked about the shoes. In 6 years, nobody corrected this. All right, let's go back. For 6 years, we have believed, and I still believe, I don't give a flying rat's hind end what you're saying. I still believe that Libby was wearing that tie-dyed shirt and gray sweatpants because that's what her family said she was wearing. A tie-dyed shirt. Didn't they find that in the creek too? Um, Now, Libby, lots of questions. Not saying that she wasn't wearing a gray hoodie and a red shirt, but uh, so for 6 years, this has been the description, right? All the interviews talk about this, all the pictures, the in the very beginning. All right, so why in 6 years did they not correct this? Because according to the Frank's motion, remember, uh, Abby was wearing Libby's oversized black hoodie, and Libby was wearing the oversized black hoodie. Abby was wearing what we know she had on, the red or pink shirt, sleeveless shirt, and the gray hoodie. Abby was wearing the oversized black hoodie that was like the swim team thing and blue jeans. But that was just a few months ago in the Frank's motion. For 6 years, Libby has been wearing something else. Remember? So let's look at this. Let's see if I can get this to play. I had a hard time with this. Let me see if I can. Come on. It might be because of the way I've got it put up here. I was having a booger of a time getting it to play earlier. Let me see if I can get the other one. If I can't get these to play, I will put them up here to play later. It could be my computer is very, very slow. Anyway, it shows, these are pictures from, and then you see this one is headline news. Let me go to this one. It doesn't want to play as a presentation. Anyway, I have two different news things, news reports that talk about what the girls were wearing, showing the girls, and y'all have seen that over and over and over of the reenactments. Let me go back here. All right, I give up on that one. I guess I can't get it to play. I lost all y'all's comments. Yes. Meow. Abby was wearing Libby's jeans and black sweatshirt and wearing two bras. It's so weird. Yes, it is weird. And what's weird, even more weird than that, is the fact that nobody's talking about where did this stuff come from. Okay, because either you drop Abby and Libby off at the trails, and you know what they're wearing. They're both wearing gray sweatshirts that Kelsey said she lent them. They were both hers, although we know that Libby's, according to the bridge Snapchat, it wasn't big. Abby was a little bitty person. It seemed to be her size, so I doubt that it was Kelsey's. But regardless, you have the sweatshirts on both of them, according to Kelsey. Oh no. I guess that's because of. Hold on. I think I'm having problems with because I was trying to play a video on here. Let me go back to. I can get this back up in just a second. Let me stop sharing this. Okay. Let's see if that clears it out. I so need a new computer. All right. I'm going to leave it like this for just a little bit. But we're going to go back because I want to show you some other pictures. Uh, so now, all of a sudden, 6 years later, they're changing the narrative on us. This one is the one that gets to me, okay? Because in 6 years, when you have been going around doing all these interviews, when people have been doing reenactments of, the girls on the bridge, and you've talked at crime con, and all this time for 6 years these girls have been wearing gray sweatshirts. Libby has been wearing a tie-dyed shirt and gray sweatpants. If you initially made a mistake, okay, let's say on the 13th you gave a description and then you realize, oh my gosh, crap, I don't think she was wearing that. I think she changed her clothes. Well, first of all, according to the narrative, they said that they really didn't even want to wear sweatshirts because it was that warm that day. But Kelsey made them wear sweatshirts. So if you didn't want to wear a sweatshirt, you wouldn't have been wearing that black hoodie out there, okay? And that would have been sufficient. If you had gone in it, that would have been sufficient. Actually, you probably would have thought it was hot. All right. So now we have the narrative of, we know, all these years, we know what those girls are wearing. But when the Franks motion comes out, they're dressed differently. Okay, well, we understand, first of all, Libby doesn't have clothes on. So we know there's something has gone on. Abby has different clothes on. Okay, this happens in crimes. People are undressed and redressed, and Abby's wearing Libby's clothes and they're too big and all this. But where did Libby's jeans and black sweatshirt come from? It's not what the family said she was wearing when she left. And in 6 years, they didn't correct it. So you tell me how in 6 years nobody's questioning this, or nobody's just, saying, oh, hey, by the way, I was wrong. I made a mistake that first day when I gave the description of what they were wearing. I messed up. I remember at the last minute she changed her clothes. But no, that never happened. As a matter of fact, you have the family who are giving you the timeline, telling you exactly according to what they saw, the last thing they saw him in. But yet, and again, I'm not blaming the family here. What I'm saying is the clothes are different. That is what I'm saying. Don't put words in my mouth. I'm saying the family remembers one thing. But now, and so then we have Gray Hughes on there a couple months ago. And he's saying, and I'm not going to play any part of his because I'll get a copyright strike. But go back and watch it. And he's like, oh, we misunderstood. Let's go back and correct this. We all misunderstood it. We were wrong in the beginning. It was always Libby is wearing a black hoodie and blue jeans. And now, there's an app. If you look up Delphi on anything, you're gonna see where you can download some kind of app to do a reenactment of the bridge. I don't know. I don't know. I've seen it over and over. Like, I don't even know who would want to do that. But in that app, Libby is wearing a black hoodie and blue jeans. So now it's like, it's kind of like the Mandela effect. Let's just, change the narrative and say it over and over and over and over until we have you believing that it was always this way. Honey, I'm not stupid. I know what I was told. I know what those interviews say. I know what all the reenactments look like. You're not going to shove this piece of crap up my nostrils. Now, if you were wrong, you had 6 years to correct it. And it wasn't until the Franks motion came out that you decided, oh, I guess we better back up. Oh, you know what? She was wearing something different, and Libby has 3 feet. What the crap? What are y'all trying to pull on us? And why? Why does this make a difference? Okay? let's say the family remembered it wrong. Well, they would have it, the family would have caught up pretty quick. The family would have realized, if Libby had really changed at the last minute, Becky doing the laundry probably would have seen that shirt that she had on earlier, the tie-dyed one, after she gave the description. If you see the shirt somewhere, you'd be like, oh, crap. I was wrong. I remember her wearing that, but she must have changed into something else. You would immediately say that. Okay, well, that's not what she was wearing. But you might not know that for a few days, but you would correct it somewhere along the line, right? But that was never corrected until it was out there in the open and Frank's was everywhere and the descriptions of the crime scene were everywhere and we're all going, holy heck, what are you talking about? Where did these blue jeans come from? Where did this hoodie come from? Now you have to come up with some answers. Now you have to say, oh, you know what? It was always that way. I don't know how you misunderstood. I mean, really. I know I'm from Alabama, but I do have more than 2 brain cells. So why? Why? Why are they so desperate to change that? Well, because either somebody went back to the house and got different clothes, or or it was somebody who had those clothes. Let's say Libby left her clothes. Maybe she spent the night with somebody else. Maybe she left some clothes there. Either they had clothes and somebody else was involved and they ended up changing their clothes. Like, I'm not saying that they went back to Libby's house and got the clothes, but somewhere these clothes came from somewhere. And I would think there would be DNA on those clothes. Now, again, there are different possibilities as if that was actually, Libby's hoodie. It did belong to her. How did it get somewhere? Did she leave it somewhere? Yeah, but that would tell us a lot, wouldn't it, where she left it? In my opinion, Libby had on the clothes that we were told originally she had on, and somehow or another, and it would have to be that she was taken to another place, right? Well, they don't want us to believe that either. But if you think that I believe that all this took place in the middle of the afternoon on a February while there's people everywhere, just down from the Monon High Bridge, you've got to think, literally, I've got some land to sell you. There is no way that crime took place right there in the middle of the afternoon. No, nada. Did not happen that way. Now, what time? I don't know, but I don't think it happened there, and I'm sure that they all know that. We're not stupid. Um, oh man, y'all have so many good things to say, and I'm missing so much of it. Okay. Meow says, no wonder they interviewed her so much early on. They were like, are you sure about that? Yeah, that could I mean, look, because they knew. Because once they saw the crime scene and you're weighing, okay, what happened? Okay, well, this is what Kelsey said they were wearing. This is what the family said they were wearing, but this ain't what we found. That's probably very accurate. Are you sure? Yeah, because then we know that somebody's telling an untruth or somebody else is involved and no, and people are covering. I don't know. Um, let's see. When did Ellie learn? Remember, you have the news clip of the first reenactment put out without the tie dye shirt. Um, the first news. I don't. All the ones I don't know. Sorry, I'm a little bit confused. All the ones I have seen have up to just not too long ago have had the tie dyed shirt. I mean, wasn't that the reason? Okay, y'all think with your brains. Okay? And I know y'all got them. I'm not saying you people who are watching, because I know how smart you are. Um, but other people who are believing all of this rot, think with your heads. Think about the t-shirts that they did for, the memorial, the one with the trees. Remember, they did the tie-dyed shirts. It was the big thing. It was memorial for, it was for Abby and Libby, and let's catch the perpetrator. Like, look, how many times have we seen that? Even Richard Allen's daughter was wearing one of those shirts, right? um there are interviews that have the Patties wearing tie-dyed shirts. It was a symbol for Libby. And now you have the nerve to tell me that it was a black hoodie? Hello? Jeez. Okay. Okay, Gray. We just misunderstood all these years. It was just, an oopsie. Yeah, right. Right. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. All right, let me get. Oh yeah, we're getting carried away. Um, let me go back to seeing if I can share my screen again. Make sure this is right. Okay, without blowing up my computer. I got to get this changed. All right. Now here's my other question. All right. Again, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to. Uh, I'm not trying to cast a whole lot of shade here. I'm just asking some questions. All right. I think it's legitimate questions, and I bet you I've got another video on here that I cannot show you. But you will. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to link these videos below, or maybe I'll just do a recap and I'll just show these. Upload them. This. The reason I say Cody Patty, where were you? Is because if you remember the earlier interviews with Kelsey, and I think, I don't know if it's been scrubbed. I know somebody's got a copy of this, maybe TCD or somebody has got one, where Kelsey is talking about, because remember in the beginning, Cody was very sus. All right. Through the years, Cody has always been sus as young bridge guy, as being involved, whatever. And so early on in Kelsey's interviews, she said that Cody was at work and he was accounted for and he was nowhere near the bridge. Like he wasn't even there that day. Okay. Y'all remember that? Because I remember it. Now, everything's different. Becky said she was just getting in the car. Okay, she realizes that they can't get a hold of Libby. And so she jumps in the car. Cody gets home from work. He jumps in the car with her. They all go down. Kelsey's there. They're all down there looking at the bridge. Derek's down there. Remember, all the families down there looking, as they should be. But how do you get from Cody wasn't there, he's not involved, he wasn't even in town, he was nowhere near, and I think that's exactly what Kelsey said, is he was nowhere near Delphi. But now he's driving around with Becky. Okay. All right. That's fine. Nothing wrong with looking for Libby. I bet you I'm not going to be able to show you this video, but you can see. Yeah, it's probably not going to run. Okay, this is. I'm trying to see what station. Can y'all tell what station this is? Let me move it around. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Uh, okay. It's from a documentary, Lies, Crimes, and Video. All right. I'm just trying to. This is so aggravating. I'll have to do it different next time. Anyway, in this video, I know somebody's seen it. There is an interview with Mike Patty that shows a car, and I am so sorry this is not playing. I don't know what my deal is with this thing tonight. I really don't. But there is a car in the background. It is looks like it's dark brown, copper brown, something like that. Strangely, it's a very strange, odd looking car because y'all know which one I'm talking about. I'll show you another picture. Remember, here's the thing with Betsy Blair. She said, according to the Frank's motion, she said she never said anything about Richard Allen's car, and she's never said anything about a black car. She said she saw I believe it was a 1965 Comet, and the reason that she knows that she thought of that is her dad has a Comet, and so he she was used to seeing that one. And the car that she saw at the CPS building it looked like a Comet to her. So let me show you, and I can't show you in this interview. Mike Patty is talking to somebody. I don't even know what he's talking about, but there is a car, an old car, behind him. And this was what I was asking, is this a Comet? I will upload these pictures and these videos. All right, this is actually a 1965 Comet. You can see, all right, you in 2017, you definitely look at this car. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And you can see that this car is a classic, all right? And that's what is in this video with Mike Patty. Now, the Mercury Comet in that year, they had several. They had the Caliente, they had the regular Comet, and they had there was another one. They were all slightly different in the back. Now, this one right here is a 1967, which is not exact, but it looks closer to the car that's in the background of the interview of Mike Patty. Now, that car may or may not be a Comet, but the thing of it is it looks a lot like this. So if you are driving, you know, you're noticing you're driving out down the road and you notice the CPS building, you're leaving, and you see an old car like this, it reminds you of your dad's Comet. You would say it's something like a Comet. So all we know is she said it was definitely not black. Couldn't remember exactly the color, but it was not black. Richard Allen's car was black. So you have a car that looks like this. Now this stands out, okay? I don't care who you are. It does stand out from other cars. Look at that. I love classic cars. Love them. Love to go to classic car shows and look at these old cars. Anyway, when we get back to this video right here, and like I said, it looks like 2021 documentary. If you will look at this, and I don't even know, this is pretty far into this. I don't know why on God's earth it won't play, but it won't. Anyway, it's very sus. So now I'm asking, was that a comet? Or did it just look like a comet? Or is that the car that Betsy Blair saw when she was leaving? As far as I know, as far as I've been told, Cody was driving it. Did he drive down to the bridge? Did he not ride with Becky? What time was he there? And was that car? We don't know. A lot of people like classic cars, but when you see this car in the background that belongs to the Patties, you will see how close it is to a Comet, and that's the point. Because a lot of classic cars look really, really different. Not this one. Okay, I was on some chat or video at one time that someone swore the one in that interview is a Comet. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that much about that year. And it's a very short clip. Um, all right, let me see what you're saying. Hiawatha. My theory from the beginning, the girls were meeting someone to go do what teenagers do, got in a car on a private drive. Maybe something else was involved. And definitely, in my opinion, I agree. Definitely not there. Definitely got taken somewhere, I believe. Um, the my theories as to why that happened, I mean, it could have been that way. There is an old interview that I will find. I'll find it. Just keep looking. Where Becky says that she knew that Libby was meeting somebody at the bridge. I guess it. I guess it just made it look bad, or she thought it made it look bad. I mean, God, teenagers. I know. I've got one. Uh, Why are there no pictures? Yeah, I asked that too, Chevy Killer. Why are there no pictures of Libby German from the 11th, 12th, or 13th when she's always on Snapchat and social media, but no pictures? Yes, that was a very good question. I should have put it in this video too. Um, I do believe that, and I'm not going to throw this up here, David Rogers, I do believe that some people are suspect very much, not uh, because of their associations. Let me just put it that way. That way, are they the perpetrators? I don't know that they're the perpetrators. I mean, it would it would be horrendous to think that that could actually be true. I mean, I know it happens, but that's hard for my brain to fathom. However, could it be because of associations? Very likely. Very likely. Um, let's see. Yeah, that's another thing. Neither of these people were supposed to be legally driving at the time. Now, do I know that people without licenses drive? Yes, all the time. They do it around here too. You got to get to work, you got to do stuff. But is that why? Is that why stories changed? Were they trying to? Because what happened to Ron Logan. Um, he kind of got busted, and then he went to jail for not having all. Like, it got really bad. Now, let me tell you. Man, I gotta read some of this stuff. Y'all are on fire in chat. You are on fire. Let me go to one more thing, and let's talk about this picture. Now we know how many videos have I done on the Freemasons and the Odins and stuff, but I have one more question. As you see, here's Brad Holder with Levi. This is at the Masonic Lodge, right? This is March. Is this 18th, 16th, or 18th? I need to get my glasses out. I can't see squat. Of 2017. This is in Logansport. March 18th. There we go. Amazing what happens when you put on some glasses. And then this is Nick McClellan, member of the Mount Zion Lodge, number 211. But he was at the Tipton Lodge he received his Master Mason degree. And this is November 29th, 2018. So this is about a year and a half, close to a year and a half after that he got his Master Mason, which he was probably already a Mason to start with. I mean, I don't know. It takes a hot minute to become a Master Mason. My point here is we got Brad Holder and Nick McClellan, both Masons. Well, you take a vow not to tell on a fellow brother. Okay, you're not supposed to implicate them. Like, you're supposed to protect your brothers. You're not supposed to. I mean, there are some things that they have a little leeway on. But in general, you're not going to be prosecuting or even looking to, if, let's say, if Brad is any way, shape, any way, shape, or form. That's what the saying is. In any way, shape, or form, if Brad is involved, Nick's involved, not in the crime. Uh, if Brad's at any reason that he is involved at all, Nick, as per his Freemasonry vows, should not be prosecuting, should not be investigating or trying to cause any problems for Brad. All right. Um, so my question is, shouldn't Nick McClellan recuse himself? Uh, it is my opinion. Okay, it's my opinion that if you are in a situation, you know what? I don't know Nick. I don't know him. Don't know him from Adam's house cat. But let's just say you are trying to shh, may not stop. Let's just say you are trying to really get the true perpetrator of this case, and you have to look in this direction. It would be better. Let's say he's a good guy. For the sake of, for the heck of it, let's say Nick is a good guy and he really wants to do the right thing, and blah blah blah. You would still have to look the other way. You would still have to try to protect a fellow Mason. Now, let me just tell you this, and there's no way to. I don't have a picture. I do, but I don't have it uploaded. Um, just as a FYI, guess who else is a Mason? And I know this from the funeral, the obituary. Mike Patty's dad, Gnarl Patty. That's an interesting name. I've never heard of anybody named Gnarl. It's K-N. Look this up for yourself. Knarl. I think it's Gnarl J. Patty, but it's Gnarl Patty. That's his dad. He was a Freemason, and it gives the number of his lodge and all the things that he was involved in. Now, being a Freemason doesn't make you a bad person at all. It depends. It depends. There are some bad ones, and there are some that aren't. Not saying, but it led me to wonder if Mike's dad was a Mason. There might be a good chance that he's a Mason as well. Again, doesn't make you a bad person. However, it makes this whole triangle. It makes it where you have to stay silent, and you don't do this and you don't do that. Is that why Mike said, told Carter, who I kind of assume is a Mason? I heard that he stepped down, but then I've heard he's a Mason. I don't know what he is, But, is that why he said, you owe me? Is it because of the brotherhood? And like, I'm not going to say anything because blah, blah, blah. You have to ask these questions. It is very, you can think, oh, it's just a social club. It doesn't mean anything. It does. It does. No Masons firsthand. They definitely have to keep to their vows. So there you go. Let me look at. Okay, I'm going to go back to. Let's stop this. All right, so this is my first load of questions, and goodness gracious, y'all, snarl. Y'all are so funny. Meow says, I still believe that Flora is likely a hate crime. I do too. I do too, Meow. It is very likely. The probability is very high that it is a hate crime. And do I think that it probably had to do with somebody who was Vinlanders or some kind of supremacy group? Yes, and they were probably Odins as well, because they kind of go hand in hand in that area. Hey, Professor Pug. Oh my gosh. ah, I'm sorry you've been working so much. I've missed talking to you. I know you're busy. I'm busy. You're busy. It's hard. It's hard to make it work sometimes. Uh, let's see. SS, who did the appraisal on the Flora house? That would be Becky Patty. She did it about 6 weeks before the arson. As a matter of fact, she said the day of Delphi, the day the girls went missing, according to Becky, her pictures that she had taken of Flora were messed up, lost, erased, whatever. She didn't have them anymore. She needed the pictures. So she sent Derek back to get pictures. Wait a second. That doesn't make any sense. Isn't that what she said? Okay, I'm misremembering this. Something is wrong. She couldn't have sent Derek to get pictures because the Flora house was already burned. It must have been another house. I thought everybody said it was Flora, but that is impossible. Unless she was looking trying to get I don't know. It wouldn't have been it would unless she was doing an appraisal after the fire. Okay, she did one before. 100% she did one before and appraised that house. We don't know what it was appraised for, strangely enough. Uh yes. Uh yeah, but that's what I've always heard too, Wisdom Sleuth. The pictures were accidentally deleted during a factory reset, but that was after. I mean, she took those pictures before the fire. You could be right, David Rogers. Uh, I think there's a lot of cover up. Now, why they covering up? Maybe it's just because like sometimes you can't tell on one friend. You're not involved in the horrendous crimes they did, but you can't tell on him because he's got too much stuff on you that's not nearly as bad, but you'll still go to jail for it. It could be one of those situations. All right. I'm just asking questions. I'm not saying that the family did or did not have anything to do with this. I'm saying that if you're looking at the family statements, there are inconsistencies, as there are with other people. Okay, for 6 years, everybody else has said, Libby was wearing a tie dyed shirt. We all believe that. And now, here's the thing, you have people who are getting up on a public platform spewing nonsense saying, oh, well, y'all, we better back up. It was a mistake. We just made a mistake in the beginning. This is not what she was wearing. Horse hockey! Makes me mad. Makes me mad because you're changing the narrative to make it something fit the lies that now are exposed. Now we know. Why has there been everything's been hush hush? Why? Because there's huge inconsistencies here. And one Frank's motion, one thing that blows open where we can actually see, get a description of the crime scene, get a description of what the condition was. These affidavits, now it's no wonder everybody's scattering like rats. And they've got to change the narrative, and they've got to make Baldwin and Rosie the devils. I mean, I think they're doing a good job. Now, I don't agree with everything. I mean, I don't know what the motivations were. I don't. Yeah, here's the thing. Uh, they're doing a really good job of letting people know what's going on. Now, um, is there some flaws? Probably, but they're doing their best for him, and I have to say they're doing a good job with that. I don't know. I don't know what's happening when it's all over and done with. But you tell me why uh, the prosecutor's office can delete interviews and say, "Oh, my bad, sorry, y'all. Well, you got it in writing. It's okay. No biggie." That is a biggie. Okay. They can delete that and know, and go, it's like, oh, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. We get it. Then the prosecution is accused of, leaking something or whatever, which it wasn't even really them. And it's like, oh my God, you're incompetent. You are too incompetent to be this guy's defense attorney. To which I say, if you've destroyed all this freaking information, you're too incompetent to prosecute it. Now, come on. The incompetence, the stuff, you both made mistakes. You both made very bad mistakes. Why don't you call it a draw? Because, look, it's messed up. Okay? Nobody's perfect. Neither side is perfect. Y'all have both done really stupid things. As it comes out, it looks like the prosecution has done a lot of stupid things over 7 years. And I mean, in the beginning, Nick wasn't even part of that. Okay, he wasn't even part of the prosecution in the beginning when all this crap was going on. So you got to blame somebody else for the first fumbleoos. Okay. All right. I am going to get out of here, and I'm going to really read some of your stuff. Let's see. Y'all have so many good. Y'all have so many good things. I have a lot to say about fires, not just in Florida, definitely in Florida, but there are so many. And I am working on, and the reason I'm kind of putting this off is I am collaborating with somebody who is actually, I've used her stuff before. I'd like to get an even bigger collab, but I'm trying to find time to work with somebody else, and I'm just going to leave it alone for right now. Of some stuff that she's great with statistics. And we're trying to do a live or even a program show together. Her schedule's crazy, so is mine. But I think maybe she can help my brain get this in a workable box where you can see what's going on in that area as far as arson. And is it important? Yes, it's important. The amount of people in Carroll County and surrounding counties, the amount of young people, young teenagers, young girls and guys, kids who have been unalived, it's staggering. It is staggering. So that would be. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is. It would let me out. I would love for you to come on too. I really would. But between the three of us, well, actually, the two of y'all, I'm just here like holy moly. Yeah, I would love to have both of y'all on, but I am trying to get it together with Allie. We're both, our schedules are just crazy, crazy. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Remember to like. Oh, you're killing me! You're killing me, Mario. Selkie for Delphi. Oh my God! I wonder how many days it would take for me to be unalived. Man, she just had a bad accident. Uh. All right. Thank you so much for being here. If you please continue to comment. Go back, y'all go back and read this read the comments, okay? Read the comments. You can comment if you're watching on the replay crew. Go back and read what the chat is saying. They are so smart. Y'all are so smart. And we will be doing a lot of this other stuff too. Uh, in another one. More spilling the tea. Definitely going to do some Flora stuff. And I'm going to be doing. I'm kind of worried. It would kind of like being a Delphi iceberg. Okay, it's a freaking mess, and it takes a long time to work on it. So maybe I should start with the Flora iceberg. That might be better. Might be a little bit easier. All right, y'all. Especially if you live in Indiana, stay safe. Whatever you do, uh, Stay silky. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for being here. I will see you again next time. Bye bye.